Hi guys, welcome back to um, your English sessions. I want to hear from you guys. How have you been doing? Have you been practicing? Do you understand the different PowerPoints? Do you have any concerns? How are you doing with your assignments? Please, guys, I need to hear from you. So this is lesson number 5. Today we'll be talking about phrasal verbs and idiomatic expressions. These topics are very similar, yet they're very different. They are also quite challenging as there are thousands of phrasal verbs, thousands of idiomatic expressions. And so, guys, I would not recommend you to go to Google and try to download a whole list of phrasal verbs and idiomatic expressions and try to learn them. No, I would only suggest that you do research on those that are more often used in your daily situations and just try to familiarize yourself with them. All right, so let's take a look. What is a phrasal verb? A phrasal verb is a standard verb. It's a normal verb, such as go, look, put. These are also idiomatic. Some phrasal verbs are idiomatic, which means that they do not have a literal meaning. For example, to look up to someone. To look up to someone, in the literal meaning of the words to look up to someone, we would think that, for example, I am short and my father is tall. I have to look up to my father because he's taller than I am. But in the figurative meaning of the words to look up to, we are referring to respect or admiration here. I respect my boss. I admire my boss. The expression simply is I look up to my boss. I look up to my students. I respect my students. This is the figurative meaning of the words to look up to. All right, so how do I identify a phrasal verb? You might be wondering. A phrasal verb is a verb plus one or two particles. It is a verb plus one or two particles. More often than not, we have one particle. For example, look below. You will see some phrasal verbs such as go away. The particle here would be away. What is a particle? You might be wondering. A particle is either the preposition or the adverb in the completed phrasal verb. A preposition or the adverb in the completed phrasal verb. In the case below, we have, let's look at hang out. I hang out with my friends on the weekends. I hang out with my friends on the weekends. The word out here is a preposition. It is the particle in the phrasal verb. Guys, it's important to know that there are different types of phrasal verbs. A phrasal verb can be either transitive or intransitive. A transitive phrasal verb always needs something or someone after the verb. It needs some sort of support. For example, I look up to you. Sinel you, it is incomplete. I look up to Kian. Who do you look up to? I look up to my boss. I respect my boss. It would be incorrect for you to say, I respect pero Kian. I respect my mother. I respect my students. Who do you respect? The who or the what is important. So with transitive verbs, guys, it always needs a support at the end of the verb. The opposite, intransitive verbs. Now, the intransitive phrasal verbs do not need a support. They stand by themselves. Let's take a look at an example here. To grow up. To grow up is completed. It doesn't need a support. For example, to grow up. my mother, to grow up me. No, that is incorrect. Just the simple intransitive verbs, to grow up, it is okay. Let's use an example. Let's use a complete example. You need to grow up. Look at the picture here. Let's say that a mother is talking to her daughter or teenage daughter who is perhaps not behaving well. The mother says to the daughter, you need to grow up. If you look at the end of the words grow up, there is no support. There is no who or there's nothing. The sentence ends right there. You need to grow up. This is an intransitive verb. So guys, remember, intransitive verbs do not need a support. However, transitive verbs need a support to be complete. Let's move on. So we just talked about phrasal verbs. I hope you understood what was said. Now let's take a look at idiomatic expressions. Now these are a little bit more difficult than the phrasal verbs. Let's look what are idiomatic expressions. Guys, you can even say expressions. Just the word expressions, it is okay. Or you can choose to say idiomatic expressions. Means the same. Idiomatic expressions have figurative meaning. Remember earlier I told you that there are some phrasal verbs that also have figurative meanings. They do not have the literal meaning. It's the same. Idiomatic expressions have figurative meanings. They are informal language. They're a type of informal language that helps to make the language more beautiful. Yes, idiomatic expressions is a way of, we use them as a way of expressing ourselves better. They could make something sound better or even worse. Let's try to see some examples here. Let's look at the first one. Chris always spilled the beans, not literal beans. We're not talking about frijoles acá. We're not talking about red beans here. This is not literal. This is figuratively done. Chris always spilled the beans about the things his friend tells him. So Chris has a friend who always tells him secrets. Chris then goes and tells the secret to somebody else. So Chris here always spills the bean. He always talks about the things that his friend always tells him. Number 2, I think I will head down to the coffee shop. Head down to is used in place of the verb go. For example, I think I will go to the coffee shop. The words head down here mean to go to somewhere, to go somewhere. Okay, look at the picture here. You see a beautiful bride. How does she look? She looks nervous. She looks like she's having a lot of thoughts. Right here we can use the expression a cocktail of emotions. Guys, I'm sure you know what a cocktail is. Think about it in the literal meaning of the word cocktail, and then think about it figuratively in reference to your emotions. Sharon is feeling a cocktail of emotions before her wedding. Sharon is nervous. She's thinking, she's perhaps having second thoughts. Should I get married? Will all the people be there? Will everything go well? Should I get married to this man? I don't know what's happening, cocktail of emotions. There are some others here. Let's look at number 5. Your exam answers were spot on. It means that all your exam answers were correct. They were perfect. Spot on. I am petrified of spiders. I hate spiders. Oh, when I think about spiders, I go crazy. I am petrified of spiders. The words petrified of here express how how the person feels when he or she thinks or thinks about spiders or hear the word spiders. I mean, just think about it. Do you like spiders? I hate spiders. I am literally petrified of spiders. Let's continue. Number 7, freaked out over. I was startled by. Number 8, read the rest of them, guys. There's some slides below in which I have some some meanings. The meanings are right down here below. You can just go over them when you have some time and try to understand them. Let's look at the last one. The last one. Number 11, he laughed his socks off. Guys, we're not talking about the literal socks that you put on your feet. We are referring here to or we're trying to say that this person was laughing so hard. He laughed so hard. Whatever it was that was said, it made him laugh very hard. He could not stop laughing. We use the expression, he laughed his socks off. Oh my gosh. Okay, so here we have some expressions and their meanings. To the left, they're the expressions, and to the right, we have the meanings. You can just go over them and try to understand. Let's look at the third one here, goof around. I like to goof around a lot. I like to behave silly. I don't care who is watching. I don't care where I am. I mean, guys, if we were having if we were meeting in the classrooms, if you were in my classroom, then you would see how much your teacher goofs around. I goof around a lot. I like to act silly. I like to act crazy sometimes. The question is, do you enjoy goofing around? Do you goof around? Do you play around? Tell me. Okay. All right, let's look at some others. Laugh your socks off, be worked up over. To be worked up over means to be upset or stressed about something. And the last one, to be puzzled about, means to be confused. I'm puzzled about the presentation. Teacher, I don't understand the topic of phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs, it is puzzling. I am puzzled about it. Or you can say, it is mind-boggling to me. I do not understand phrasal verbs. It is mind-boggling. So guys, please, when you send me those emails, I am waiting for you to send me those emails. Please try to use some of these idiomatic expressions or phrasal verbs to express how you feel about the different sessions. Let me know the truth. Tell me, teacher, the presentation on lesson number 2 about embedded questions, it was mind-boggling or it was puzzling. I do not understand. All right, so again, we have some expressions to your left, and here we have some the meanings of those expressions to your right. Just continue to practice them. Here we have a list of words and expressions that, guys, you need to just read up and try to find the meaning or try to understand the use of each of them. Please, you need to practice. All right, a quick question. Which phrasal verb or idiomatic expression could you use here? Now, the sentence goes like this. Alicia is this cute guy. So there's a cute guy who Alicia What would be your response here? Alicia is A, B, C, or D? This guy. Okay, I would go with the second one, letter B. Alicia is crazy about this guy. When Alicia sees this guy, she goes crazy. She screams a lot. She forgets what her name is. She forgets where she was going. She forgets everything because she is crazy. Ella es loca. She is crazy about this guy. Question, guys. Is there anyone that you are crazy about? Let me know. All right. Remember, guys, to continue to practice the different topics. In this case, we have phrasal verbs and idiomatic expressions. Remember to check the deadlines. The deadline this week for your module 1 will be on the 4th of December, which is this coming Wednesday. So remember to try to get your assignments done as soon as possible. And remember that the quiz will be on the same day, on Wednesday, from 8 to 10 p.m. So you have 2 hours from 8 to 10 p.m. to get the quiz done. So that's it for now. Remember to send me an email if there is anything you have a question about, any concerns, any doubts, and just let me know what's happening, guys. All right, so talk with you soon. Bye for now.